Hi, this is Caroline Sinisa-Levine with SixFigureStart, and this week's video blog comes courtesy of Jennifer, who asks, how can I move from being a close second to the first choice candidate? Well, Jennifer, this is a great question because if you are finding that you're always the bridesmaid and never the bride, you definitely want to look at your interview and closing technique towards the end of those interviews to see if there's something you're specifically doing that's keeping you in that second position. Now, I will tell you that when I was a recruiter and we would get to those callback stages, oftentimes we would like all of the final round candidates, and it really came down to very, very slight things. So I do want to say that I don't want you to think there might be a big, big problem, and this might be the reason why you're a perennial second. You want to look at how many opportunities are we talking about here where you were the second choice. If it's just one or two, you might be reading just too much into it. Continue with your search. You might be doing just fine. But some of the things that I've seen that cause people to blow a job offer when it's imminent, one is they just run out of energy. The job process is exhausting, so your energy needs to be high throughout. And some people, when they get to those final stages, they feel like, you know what, I have this, I can relax a little bit, or they're just tired, and that exhaustion shows up as lack of interest or simply low energy, and then the employer is going to be thinking, do they have the right amount of energy and gusto to really take on this role? So that's a big one that I've seen. The second problem that I've seen towards the end of a search is that people just forget about you. At this point in the search, they've been seeing a lot of different candidates, and now we're down to, 3 or 4 people, and perhaps there's someone who's always in front of us, telling us what they're up to, asking about the position, asking for the position. And I call this the out of sight, out of mind problem. And then here you are, and you're waiting patiently for a decision, and again, they just forget about you. So you want to make sure, especially if it's a long, drawn-out interview process, that you stay in front of the decision makers and you're always reiterating your interest. But the final reason that I see that people blow an imminent job offer, and this one's a tough one. This is what I call those creeping doubts. People start thinking about actually getting the job. They start thinking about, do I want this job? Have I learned everything that I need to know? Am I sure I can do this job? And they start thinking more about walking through the door and what they're going to do on the job than they actually think about just sealing this offer and making sure they're 100% committed to getting the offer. Listen, you can always say no to the offer, but you should be 100% committed to getting that offer, 100% excited with no doubt whatsoever. Because even if you aren't 100% sure about the job, you still want to get that offer to give you leverage, to give you confidence, to prove to you that you can close. And so don't let any sorts of doubts about the job impede your enthusiasm for getting the offer. Lack of enthusiasm is a big deal why candidates in the final round actually don't make it through. So focus on your energy. Focus on staying in front of mind of the decision makers, and focus on being 100% committed so there's no doubt in the minds of prospective employers that you are the one that should get the offer. Now it's your turn. Tell me, how did you seal the deal? If you recently got an offer, think back to some techniques that you used to make the employer realize that you were the one. And I'd love to hear your suggestions in the comments. This is Caroline Sinisa-Levine with SixFigureStart. If you have a question for a future video blog, you can contact us at info@sixfiguresstart.com.